Hey everybody, and welcome to Stock Abilities. Today I'm going to be covering the Apple event recap highlights for 2020, including all the new products announced, all the new software, all the new hardware, all in just one video. So make sure to watch through the whole video to get all of the information, and make sure to comment below on your input, what you would have liked to see at the event, what you'd like to see in the future, what you feel was kind of a waste of time, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to be covering it here all in just one video. You'll have it all right here, so make sure to watch through the whole thing. A little special surprise at the end there for anyone interested. Basically, they launched a lot of plethora of new products, a new iPad, new software, new hardware for the watches, like a services bundle, all these kind of fancy things, and I'm going to go into details about each and every one here. We're going to jump right into it. The short answer is that it was the Apple Watch Series 6, the Apple Watch SE, 8th generation iPad, new iPad Air, Fitness Plus workout services, and Apple One service bundles. They're kind of not necessarily new, more upgrades per se than something new and innovative that people are probably hoping for, but we're going to jump into it anyways here. The Apple Watch Series 6, basically monitoring users' blood oxygen levels in an app that can measure it in 15 seconds, and it'll be available in blue and red options for the first time ever. Nothing too exciting about that. It's a blood pressure monitor. I guess that's exciting to people nowadays. Personally, not for me. Seems kind of silly. You got a new watch here, the Apple Watch SE. It costs $279 and up, and it has cellular and Wi-Fi models and a new feature, family setup, which will allow kids and other adults to use Apple iWatch without an iPhone. So I guess that's unique. There isn't really a lot of competition for watches. Apple's one of the few doing that, but if that's something of interest to you, and if you have monies to burn to buy a watch for when you have a tablet or when you have a monitor for a computer, or if you have a laptop, if you want a watch to carry around, even if you already had a cell phone, seems kind of redundant to me, but that's just my personal opinion. And it's not anything all that exciting. It's just a bunch of apps on a watch. Then you have the iPad Air here. It's basically a fancified tablet, next generation, faster than their predecessors. It's just a tablet. A lot of tablets do very similar for a lot less price. If you like Apple products, for an Apple product, the $599 price tag is relatively cheap. It charges quick, speedy, all that kind of stuff. If you're an artist or something like that, you might like it. If you like these kind of fancier features, but there's really not anything, at least in my opinion, significant enough to warrant the $599 price tag. But hey, that is up to you guys what you want to consider in that regard. But it's basically an iPad Air, basically a tablet. Nothing all too creative about that. It's basically faster. You know, hot air balloon, but not much substance to it there. And of course, you have Apple unveils Fitness Plus, a new service for the Apple Watch. Uh, kind of a Peloton competitor, so Peloton took a little bit of a hit there. But, it's kind of giving a purpose to it, at least, giving more of a use to actually using the Apple Watch. So at least they're taking some kind of a valuable market share perspective in that regard with Apple TV and the Apple Watch. And, they're kind of pairing their services together to give more variety to those that are purchasing these products. Once again, though, this is something where you can watch, someone on YouTube, you can watch someone on all these other different places without having to have an Apple TV or have an Apple Watch. It's kind of, I guess, more of the convenience valuation in that regard. Exercise is important, not saying it's not. I'm just saying that the valuation at this point for that to me, not really worth it. If you need that kind of motivation, possibly. Peloton took a drop. It lasted maybe 5-10 minutes, and then it went right back up. Took a little bit of a hit towards the end of the day, but then kind of pushed back up a little bit more. It's down a little bit in the after hours, but it didn't really seem to affect Peloton to any reasonable degree. For a day trader, it was probably a good scalp, but for a swing long trader, probably didn't even notice it. One of the last things here to mention, basically, is the services bundle. It's kind of a unique way for Apple to pair all of its different services, because it's getting so many different services that it might be confusing their actual, people that buy Apple products. So they have an individual bundle that's basically Apple Music, Apple TV, Apple Arcade, and the iCloud storage at $14.95 a month. Pretty good combination for all of that stuff, if you think about it. My guess is their Apple Arcade was not selling very well, so they tried to pair it with some of their other services, Apple TV Plus, and all those other things. If you compare that to something like Netflix, which is $12 to $15 a month, I think, currently, or something like Disney Plus, or, all these other ones that are going on, it's considered a relatively competitive price for that aspect. So, Netflix and some other ones here, Spotify might be taking a hit because Apple Music will be pretty good price comparatively because it adds all this other value to it. Then you have the family plan. Same services for up to 5 family members at $19.95 a month. Still pretty competitive price, relatively speaking. And then you have the Premier, the same services plus Apple News Plus, Apple Fitness Plus, and that would be $29.95. Going back to what I earlier said, it might be unique to you and might be valuable to you. Personally, to me, it's not really all that of interest. Judging from the movement on the share price here, seems that it started to react a little bit, but then ultimately got disappointed when things got released and more things, and it took a drop, and it took a heavier drop into the after hours. It's hasn't really reacted. I feel that there's some market share value in that regard. I don't know when that'll necessarily be baked in. I feel that you will see a little bit of more of a reaction than you saw today. I feel that it was relatively underwhelming, the movement for the day trading aspect. For a swing trade, it's barely up 18 cents for the day. In the after hours, it's actually down overall on the day, despite all the news that came out. Maybe investors are starting to feel that it's trying to stretch itself too thin. Maybe it feels that it's kind of just trying to dabble in too much all at once. Maybe they're trying to offer too much, and it's just confusing not only investors, but confusing those that would likely be purchasing these type of services. The only one of interest to me was the pairing with the Apple TV, because there's some good content on Apple TV that I've seen that I was interested in watching. But in regards to the overall aspect of utilizing these, that's really up to you. You got a watch that you wear on your wrist that's basically a phone that you can probably barely see. You have an iPad that you can get a tablet that's equivalent, very similar. iPad Air, they offer unique aspects, but in regards to an actual tablet, tablets relatively aren't that expensive. Some people probably won't like me saying this, but you can probably get an Amazon tablet that does almost the same exact stuff. You might have less space. If you're artistically inclined or you want to, use it for that kind of purpose, there might be value in it. But if you're just an average, if you're just going to watch Apple TV on it or something like that, it's, I guess, worth it. But to have a device specifically just to watch that seems kind of silly. Beyond that, I think that's about all I wanted to cover in this video. A lot of new things got released. Some might be value to some people. To me personally, beyond that, the Apple TV mixed bundle, there really isn't a whole lot else that's exciting to me. Their arcade is not that great. It's just a market share ploy. There isn't really a whole lot of value in that. The iCloud storage might be sort of appealing, but A lot of people are offering free storage nowadays on the cloud, so that's not exactly as innovative as it used to be. But thank you for listening in. Make sure to, if you listen this far, comment below any kind of input you'd want to hear about Apple in the future, any kind of videos you want to see in the future. And I did say I promised something at the end, so I just wanted to say hello. Thanks for listening in the whole way through the video, because I know most of you don't. And that's about it. Nothing too exciting about that one. Sorry to disappoint everybody. Have a nice day.